Good day, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Push from Scrakenaders and this is my review of Killing Floor 3. The best word to describe the current state of Killing Floor 3 is absurd. It doesn't make sense. I wouldn't call KF3 bad, lazy or a cash grab. It's fun in a way. You may also find development effort and budget put into its production. Nonetheless, KF3 came out as a set of unfinished features that were glued together in a nonsensical way, unfortunately. The gameplay you see on the screen is the Sharpshooter's meta. To play Sharpshooter most efficiently, you need to use Explosive Shotgun and Vulcan, and aim at the center of the body and avoid headshots. Sharpshooter is the strongest perk against every Z but Scrake. Firebug is the best Scrake killer in the game. I think I need to repeat the statement. Sharpshooter spams body shots. Sharpshooter is weak to Scrakes, so Firebug needs to help her. As I said, absurdity. I'll pause for a moment to give you time to recover from double facepalm. Let's continue. KF veterans might think that the usage of explosive weapons causes Sharpshooter's weakness to Scrakes, and Scrakes historically were resilient to explosives. That isn't the case with KF3. Vulcan is still the best weapon to kill Scrakes by Sharpshooter. Sharpshooter with Vulcan kills a Scrake faster than with a railgun. However, Firebug kills Scrakes even quicker. Here is the list of some of the most absurd mechanics in KF3. Explosive AoE scores headshots. Don't get me wrong, it's not the impact damage but the area of effect. You score a body shot with an explosive round and its damage all heads and weak points in the radius. Armor-piercing rounds are great at everything but piercing armor. I don't know how the developers could mess up this mechanic, given that the description is in the title. Hit damage is great against everything, unconditionally. You can break this Scrake's metal face mask by setting his balls on fire. That's the KF3 logic 101. That's why Vulcan is so overpowered. It deals both explosives and hit damage. Explosions break armor and score headshots, while hit takes care of the rest. Before we go deep into technical details, let's quickly give KF3 the score, so those who cannot stand long videos can return to TikTok funny cat videos. Casual grinding on normal or hard difficulties is somewhat fun, so I give it a 6 out of 10 score. Advancing to Hello North is where shit hits the fan. Playing Hello North with friends or solo gets 4 out of 10. Public Hello North games are even worse, scoring 3 out of 10. Given that nobody is playing normal and hard anymore, as Hello North grinding grants more XP and resources, and none of my friends are playing KF3 anymore, we are left with only 2 options, where the final score is 3.5 out of 10. If you haven't bought KF3 already, I do not recommend doing it now. Wait for Season 2 somewhere around Halloween. If Tripwire improves the game by then, you may get it at a discount. If you had bought the Standard Edition, check my guide on how to get a free Battle Pass. If you purchased the Deluxe or Nightfall Edition, I'm sorry for you. You had been warned. The follow-up question is, can KF3 be saved? Yes, it can. However, I doubt the developer's skills and willingness to do that. All gameplay mechanics require an overhaul. Let's wait for Season 2 and see. It's their final chance. If Tripwire won't drastically improve KF3 in Season 2, I see no reason for Embracer Group not to shut down the project. We're done with the review, now let's talk technical details. Let's start with perks. Tripwire stated their top priority is decoupling characters from perks, and that's a waste of development resources in my opinion. Characters should not be tied to perks in the first place. They should continue with the KF1-2 model, where any character can play any perk. Even if devs understood their mistakes only from the beta feedback, which is strange already as it was obvious to everybody since their first announcements, they should have done the decoupling before the release. Now it's too late. KF3 players got used to the specialist system, but those who didn't buy the game due to it won't buy a game with a 51% rating even after decoupling. It's a waste of development resources that could be used on other features. People who scream the loudest about the specialist system think that the decoupling will bring KF2 perks back, but it won't. KF3 has only 6 perks, all of which are imbalanced, broken or both. And it has 6 cringe characters, which are mediocre at best. Do you really think that allowing Mr. Foster to play a Sharpshooter with Vulcan will improve the situation? Moreover, Mr. Foster can use Vulcan already. I would rather see a perk overhaul than decoupling. I have a conspiracy theory. According to the roadmap, DJ Scully is planned for Season 2. We have seen teaser images of him holding dual pistols, assuming that DJ Scully is a gunslinger. However, the gunslinger perk is planned only for Season 4. What if the real reason for the perk character decoupling is to allow the introduction of a new character without making a new perk? After the decoupling, DJ Scully may join Vulcan Floor without any gameplay changes. Regarding DJ Scully, am I the only one who dislikes his military uniform? It doesn't fit his original Survivor theme. Or, continuing our conspiracy, the default skin is made unlikable on purpose to promote selling the classic skin for $15 like they did with Mr. Foster. Enough with conspiracy theories, let's talk technical details. As one guy from Tripwire said,
from a community manager perspective, all the feedback was the best feedback, especially when you told me why. Hey, I don't like this. Neat. Why? Yeah, give me some details.
I'm not going to walk through all the perks as it may require hours. Trust me, all perks are broken or bad. Let's discuss the perk I'm most familiar with, Sharpshooter. Ironically, the most broken skill in the game is called Perfection. In my Sharpshooter skill tree guide, I suggested picking Big Game Hunter at level 26. That is still true if you are playing Sharpshooter normally. However, Big Game Hunter is useless in our Explosive Vulcan build, since it applies only to ballistic and cold damage. Perfect Shot, on the other hand, is a terrible perk to pick for normal gameplay. Since every missed shot nullifies the entire stack, it requires at least 11 headshots in a row or at least 92% accuracy to break even with the Big Game Hunter. That level of accuracy can rarely be achieved on a good day by the best players even in KF1, where Zeds walk in a straight line towards you. No way you score such accuracy in KF3. The situation radically changes with the Explosive Vulcan meta. Since Explosive AoE scores headshots, we gain a perfection stack by body shots. Moreover, I encourage you to do body shots as they are nearly impossible to miss. Hence, scoring 92% body shot accuracy is barely a challenge. Full perfection stacks grant 70% damage bonus, which, coupled with 20% from big shot, deals double damage to weak spots. By the way, perk bonuses are multiplicative, not additive. Raising 120 damage by 70% result in 204%, not 190. The same applies to purple bonuses of weapon attachments, which also multiply perk bonuses and each other. For instance, Boss Basher deals 5% extra damage to bosses, but 5% of 204% is roughly a 10% bonus. Perfection makes Sharpshooter the strongest perk in the game, and it would be ridiculously overpowered if it weren't broken. Ironically, game bugs somewhat balance the skill. First, you cannot heal other players since healing darts from the medic pistol counts as missed shots and reset the perfection stack. Even if you hit a player, it still doesn't count, hence no teammate healing. Second, no melee bashing with your weapon as it also counts as a missed shot. If you use to bash skip in Vulcan reload, you will lose the perfection stack every time you do so. Third, Siren Screams blocks your shots and clears your perfection. Fourth, there is an input buffering bug where your gun may shoot twice even if you had pressed the triggers once. Or it may shoot immediately after reload even if you have already released the trigger. And that, ladies and gentlemen, Tripwire calls perfection. Perfection is not the only bad skill in the tree. Many skills are either bad, not worth picking over their counterparts, or don't belong to the perks role in the team. Check my Sharpshooter skill tree guide, where I describe every single one of them in detail. Please keep in mind that the guide is focused on the normal Sharpshooter gameplay, where the player uses ballistic rounds to hit heads. There are some discrepancies in our retarded explosive meta. I hope that crap get fixed and my guide will become relevant again. Level 14 and 20 skills do not belong to Sharpshooter. A shield that fully protects against an incoming attack every 25 seconds and a movement speed boost after taking damage. I suppose the developer who designed those skills has never played Sharpshooter before or asked ChatGPT to come up with random crap. Sharpshooter is all about dealing high damage through precision. Sharpshooter doesn't need a shield or fast movement. She needs skills to improve accuracy and handshot damage. The shield and fast movement should belong to medic or ninja. But do you know what they have instead? More ammo. Fucking more ammo. Please explain why the melee class has a skill to increase ammo capacity. How much ammo does your knife need? And medic has an ammo bonus skill too. Meanwhile, commander and sharpshooter are running out of ammo in each wave. Unless they use also Vulcan, of course. And that's the biggest problems, ladies and gentlemen. The existence of overpowered weapons can be tolerated. Moreover, KF1 and KF2 also have some of these, especially KF2. The biggest problem with KF3 is that you cannot survive without using them. Well, you can do it in solo, as I have plenty of videos on my channel to show how to do that. But try to win a 6-player Hellenorf as a sharpshooter who uses only so-called perked weapons. Even if you keep up with Big Z killing, which has been made much harder since the railgun and Z-type nerf, you will be running out of ammo every wave. You may buy ammo box, but then you won't have enough dosh to buy the railgun, since the economy in KF3 is designed by a 10-year-old kid who is bad at math. You may rely on the engineer's ability to produce ammo bags, but do you know what else an engineer can do? He can get a Vulcan and G33 and kill everything in the game, making you useless. I don't think Tripwire is capable of fixing this game. It's not going to happen. The only way to save KF3 is to add full mod support as soon as possible. Modders saved KF1 and KF2, and I see why they wouldn't do the same for KF3. But it has to be a full mod support with open sourcing the gameplay code. Simply unlocking the level editor with limited blueprint capabilities won't be enough. How many would agree to waste their free time creating maps for mindless Vulcan spamming? The marketing department may argue that mods reduce the Battle Pass and in-game store sales. But nobody buys those items anyway, and you've given a free Battle Pass anyway. At least people will buy the core game to play mods. Oh, I forgot to tell you why Sharpshooter is weak to Scrakes. Armored weak points are not considered weak points until their armor is destroyed. Hence, shooting Scrakes' heads is not considered a headshot, while his face mask is there. Even when you shoot above the mask or from behind, nope, it doesn't count. While face mask exists, no headshots are allowed. Given that the sharpshooter skills improve only headshot and weak point damage, they do not affect shots into the armored face mask. And as I mentioned earlier, armor piercing crowns do not pierce armor in this game. That's why Firebuck is better against Scrakes, as she gets a raw damage bonus with Vulcan rather than weak point only. Also, Firebuck ignites Zeds, and hit for some reason damages armor, speeding up the process even more. The same applies to Flashpound's too. Flashpound's head and chest plate are armored, and therefore they cannot be damaged until the armor is destroyed. No headshots allowed. The only difference is that Flashpounds are weak to explosive, aka soundwave damage, allowing for both explosive shotgun and Vulcan to destroy their armor much quicker. Concluding this video, I'm afraid that even if Tripwire fixes all major bugs, improves QoL, adds text chat and suicidal difficulty, KF3 won't score higher than 6 out of 10. To climb higher, KF3 needs the entire overhaul of perks, damage system and weapon balance. Mod support is more than welcome. And that's all from me today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.